There are a lot of marketing terms and KPIs and things that really don't matter. And when you focus on the wrong stuff, it's really going to hurt your business. So today I'm going to cover the top 10 KPIs and terms that you need to know and understand in order to improve your marketing and get profitable returns on your ads. So the reason I want to cover some of the most important KPIs and marketing terms that you're going to need to know is because as a marketer, probably 40% of what you're going to be doing is analyzing data. It's going to be going into the ads manager for Facebook or Google and diving in and looking at what's going on so that you can identify where there's holes in the marketing so you can go in and fix them. Hey guys, I just want to pause the video real quick and just thank you for watching. If you want to stay up to date on all the crazy marketing changes and iOS 14 updates and all of the different things out there, make sure you hit subscribe and turn your notifications on. Also, I wanted to let you know, I've got 2 different books that you can get. This one, Becoming a Digital Baller, the Playbook. This teaches a lot of the fundamentals that are really important when it comes to understanding what all the pieces fit together. Email marketing, SEO, advertising, organic social media, websites, all of that stuff. Great for brand new marketers, people just getting in. This one, Advertise Like a Digital Baller, is all about advertising, what KPIs to look at, ad copy, and all of that, how to pretty much everything you really need to know to get started or just level up your advertising. Both of them are available on Amazon, or you can go to the website and get a special deal for the digital copies right now. If you want experts to come look at your ads manager, look at your data to find what problem you're running into of why sales aren't happening at a price point you want, cost per purchase you want, growth that you want, go ahead and schedule a free consultation with one of my team members and we will jump on the call and look at the data, look at everything for you to help you identify what problems you're running into and how we can fix them for you. Now, back to the video. So the first KPI I want to go over is cost per purchase or cost per lead, cost per acquisition. Those are all pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much how much is it costing you to get your desired goal. So if you're an e-commerce site, cost per purchase because your goal is to get sales. If you're generating leads for your business, cost per lead. Cost per acquisition is just what is the cost to acquire a new customer. And this is so important to look at because this is the end goal. So as you're making changes throughout the funnel, throughout the ads and everything, that's what you're going to be looking to see if it's going up or down. Okay. A lot of the time, especially with iOS 14, you don't really need to worry as much about what that specific cost is, but you want to see the trends. Like if you're making changes to the ads, does it go up or down? If you make a change to the website, does it go up or down? Okay. The next one that we're going to talk about is cost per 1,000 impressions or CPM. Now this is an extremely important KPI that you want to look at because it's determining how expensive your audience is. So like you're on Facebook, you're advertising to let's say people who like functional fitness, right? And you can see that your cost per 1,000 impressions is $17 or $20. That means that to get your ads in front of 1,000 people who have this interest, you have to pay Facebook 17 or 20 bucks. Now, 17 or 20 bucks is what I found to be the average on Facebook when advertising in the US. Now, every country is going to be different depending on language and also depending on age ranges and everything. But what I like to look at is I like to have that average of like $20, and I always want to try and get CPMs that are lower than it. Because some of our clients, their CPMs are low as $5. That means I pay Facebook $5 and we're getting in front of 1,000 people. Whereas I have clients whose CPM is $40. So to get in front of 1,000 people, I have to pay $40. It's 8 times more expensive. So when you can look at your ads and see how expensive your CPM is, it can be a good indicator to know if you need to find a different audience to target because it's just too expensive. The next thing I want to talk about is click-through rates. Click-through rates is the percentage of people who see your ads, click on the ad to go to the website. Now, it's important to note that every single ad platform might be a little bit different at what it considers a link click or a click-through rate. For example, Facebook, you have click-through rates and they'll count a click as someone click on the video to pause it or to turn sound on, go to the Facebook page or the Instagram profile. Those are all counted as clicks. So it's very important to understand that you want to look at the link click-through rate because the link click-through rate is the percentage of people who saw your ad and clicked to go to the website. And that's the whole purpose of your ad, is to get people from Facebook or Instagram and go to your website. And so that's the metric you want to look at. If you look at just click-through rates, it can be a little bit inflated because there's lots of other clicks. So it can kind of give you some false data, false read. Now Google, they just have link, like if somebody clicks on an ad, it's taking them to the website. So it's really important to know the difference so you can make sure that you're reading and understanding the correct data. Now, if you're having low click-through rates, it's a percentage. So if you have, around 0.5% on Facebook, for example, 0.5% is not good. You need to make changes. So that's when you make changes to your headlines, your copy, try new videos, change up the ads. That's the metric you want to look at. And a lot of the times people just look at the CPA or the cost per acquisition, right? Cost per purchase, cost per lead. But at Rep Labs here at our agency, we really focus on the link click-through rates because that's what's telling us if the ads are working, if they're getting people to the website. So the next thing I really want to cover is the KPI of your conversion rate. Now, this is the conversion rate for your website, right? How many people come to your website and actually get the desired goal, right? So for example, e-commerce, how many people purchase? For if you're generating leads, have like an opt-in page, how many people come to the website and give you their information, name, email, phone number, right? And the reason this is important to look at is because as a marketer, you're going to continually be testing, changing headlines, changing color schemes, changing copy. And the most important thing that you should look at is the changes in your conversion, right? Like, hey, I changed this headline and my conversion rate went up. Or I changed the color of this button and it went down. Now, it's really easy to get caught up in what that conversion rate is, what that percentage is, but the main thing you want to be looking at in the day-to-day of marketing is looking at the changes that you're making and the changes in the conversion rate. And it's really important to document everything that you're doing. You want to make sure what day you did it and what you did, so that when you're looking at the changes in the conversion rate, you can align in the graphs what's happening. So you can know exactly what's worked and what hasn't, and there's a documentation of the results. Okay, diving in a little bit more into some of the sub KPIs of the conversion rate is something called the bounce rate. Now, this is something you can get from Google Analytics. It's a great resource to look at. What a bounce rate is what percentage of people come to the website and don't take action, any kind of action, right? They come, they don't scroll, they don't click on anything, they just leave. That is a great indication of how well your very first headline on your website is, right? So the most important part of your website is the very first section. It's your hero section, your anchor section. There's a lot of people call it a lot of different things, but essentially, someone comes to the website and what is their first impression? Is it designed well? Is the headline really pointing out what problem your product or service solves? And if not, that's when they're bouncing. So when you're making changes to your headline at the very top, the main KPI you should be looking at is your bounce rate, because that will tell you if you're improving your headlines or making it worse. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do 2 in 1. It's the add to cart or ATC or initiate checkout IC. This is really mainly for e-commerce brands, but a lot of the times when marketers are making changes to their websites, they do the right thing and they look at the conversion rate, but again, there's subcategories that you can look at to see specific changes. For example, someone is not going to buy your product if they never add it to their cart, right? That's the first step. So if you have a low add to cart percentage, the percentage of people who come to the website and add something to the cart, if that's low, that means you're not selling people on your product. That means you don't have a good bundle or a good offering. The price point might be too high or it might be too low. You don't have enough sales copy. You don't have a good explainer video. There's a lot of things that you can change, and that should be something that you're looking at, because if you're making changes and your add to cart percentage is going up, that means more people are being sold. But there's still the next step of, after somebody adds something to the cart, actually going through and starting the checkout process. So if the drop off from someone adding something to their cart going to their checkout is high, that means you might need to check and make sure that the user experience of that process is very easy, right? That your checkout isn't asking for too much information. It's not loading too slowly. So it's really easy for us when we're going through it, like we don't get the error message that everyone gets. So try it on every browser. Try it on every incognito window that you can to make sure that user experience is amazing. Try it on mobile, try it on desktop, try it on laptop, just to make sure that that user experience is great. And that's what you should do if your drop-off is way too high from add to cart to initiate checkout. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is lifetime value, or LTV. A lot of businesses, this is a metric that they need to understand so that they can know what a good cost per acquisition or cost per purchase is for their business. For example, you have, let's say you're an e-commerce company selling supplements like pre-workouts or something like that. You're making $50 per purchase. Your average order value is $50. And the average customer comes and buys from you 4 times. So your lifetime value of a customer is $200. So then you can justify to yourself that it can be worth it to lose money on your first time orders, like say it's cost you $60, $70, $80 to get a brand new customer, because you know over the next few months they're going to spend another $150 with you after their initial order. And so you're still getting a good return on your investment, right? Obviously you still want to bring it down. The $60 cost per purchase wouldn't be great, but you know in the long run you're still actually going to be profitable. And this is a great way, especially if you want to get a good evaluation for your company, if you're looking to sell or to raise capital. You can say, hey, look, our cost per acquisition is a little bit higher, but we know in the long run our returning customer rate, our lifetime value, it's phenomenal, and we're going to make money, which is just a little bit delayed. The next one I want to talk about is something called churn rate, but I kind of want to combine it with returning customer rate. Churn rate is essentially for companies that have a subscription, is what's the average of the amount of time people stay with that subscription, right? Maybe it could be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. If you know your churn rate, it really helps to calculate your lifetime value. But I also want to talk about, for other companies, what is your returning customer rate? Because not every company is a subscription based. Not every company has products that can be rebought over and over again. But knowing what your returning customer rate is essential because it helps you know exactly where you can change your marketing efforts after new customer acquisition. For example, maybe we need to add some more email marketing. Maybe we need to do a education drip or an education campaign from your email marketing. To keep people engaged, keep people coming back. Maybe we need to focus on doing some holiday sales because, with email and text message, maybe we need to do better retargeting with our ads. There's a lot of things you can do to increase your returning customer rate. It's almost free revenue because the hardest part of marketing is getting a brand new customer. Getting a first time buying customer is one of the hardest things you can ever do. But once you've got them, you got to take advantage of that. And so that's where you have to look at your returning customer rate or your churn rate, so you know exactly what you have to do to keep them coming back. Because it's such a great way to increase your revenue without having to increase ad spend or do all the hard stuff. For example, one of our clients, we were generating about $80,000 to $100,000 a month. They weren't doing any email marketing, things like that. We did it, and in one email, we generated $20,000, $30,000 in revenue, all from an existing customer base that the email marketing software costs like what, $100 a month, super cheap, and it generated $30,000. And it's just a great way, if you're seeing that you have low returning customer rates, to focus there to increase your revenue in the cheapest way possible. So the last thing I want to talk about is funnels. Now, personally, I hate the term funnel, and it's gotten really big. Everyone uses it. I personally hate it because a funnel is essentially you put water in the funnel and the water comes out the end. But in marketing, it's you put the traffic in, you send traffic to the funnel, and the sales just pop out, right? And the reason I hate that so much is because a funnel, and this is a little like nitpicky about this, terminology. A funnel, like if you pour water into a funnel, all of the water comes out of the bottom, right? And that's just not the case in marketing. So what I like to think of it is I'm taking my customers on a journey up a mountain, right? And so to get them to the very top, to get them to buy, to become a customer, right? And they're starting at the bottom. They've never heard of me before. They've never met me. It's all brand new. They come across my ad. And the reason I think this is a more accurate description of the customers, of the process of getting a brand new customer, is because it helps you create the idea or understand the idea that it takes all these chances for somebody to get off the path, right? This is the path. They see your ad for the first time. They have a chance to get off the path and just keep scrolling. They decide to read your ad, but then they have a chance to continue to scroll on after reading it. Then they actually click on your ad, but then they have a chance to leave before the website actually loads because maybe you have low speed times. Then they have a chance to read the top heading and they make a decision to keep on scrolling. Then they see the price point, they make a decision to add it to their cart. Then they have to decide if they're gonna go to the initiate checkout, right? Go to the next step. Then they have to decide if they wanna put in their credit card information. Then they have to decide the shipping, if it's worth the costs of shipping, if you're not offering free shipping. And then they have to decide, so there's all of these little points that the customer has an opportunity to leave. Whereas a funnel, I mean, you just throw it in and the money comes out and it makes it seem like all you need is a funnel and boom, you're gonna make tons of money. When in reality, that's wrong. And when you understand this, you know and where to look from all of these KPIs where they're getting off the path. If you have a massive exodus here, you know that's where you need to come fix it. So you can fix it and get it all taken care of, and so that you can get more people through up the mountain. Because every single chance somebody will have to leave, they will. Every single step. And that's why I think it's really important to understand that this is the process, not this. But because everyone does still use the term funnel, I think it's important to cover top of funnel, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel. Even though I hate it, it's important. So essentially, your top of funnel, right, is this awareness area, right? They're learning about you. Then here, the middle of funnel, they're getting educated about you. They're on your website, things like that. Bottom of funnel, this is like people like they're about to make the buying decision. So the reason this is great to know is you know where you want to retarget them, right? So if you have, these are your cold audience, people who've never heard of you before. These might be your audiences who have maybe taken some action in the past, in the last 30 days, 40 days or something. Maybe they've been to your website but didn't do anything extra. And this bottom of funnel would be people who've actually like gone most of the way. They've added something to their cart. And so this just really helps with what you retarget with your advertising. But essentially it's the same thing here, right? This would be your bottom of funnel. This would be your middle of funnel. This would be your top of funnel. Essentially the same thing, but my analogy is better. Hey guys, so that's it for this video. There are a lot of marketing terms out there, and there's a lot of things that you need to know, and we'll continue to put more of these types of videos out there to help you understand exactly what's the most important things to look at. Because as a marketer, again, 40% of your time is gonna be looking at data, so you need to know exactly what KPIs mean and exactly what to do if you're not hitting your KPIs. So if you know how to read your KPIs so you can find the problem in your advertising, you can go fix it and increase your revenue quickly and efficiently without having to waste tons of time, energy on things that really aren't gonna make a difference. Now, if you have any questions about specific KPIs or other marketing tactics or tools that you'd like some advice on, go ahead and leave a comment below. And as well, make sure you hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so that anytime we come out with new content, you'll be able to be the first one to know. I'll see you next time. Now add like a cool sign-off logo, something sweet.